Whoa. So hold up. We have an opportunity here to make even more content. So let's see. Maybe. All right. You know what? I'm going to cancel Q. I'm going to cancel this. Let me come into this like clean slate. No tilt, no nothing. We're going to just come into this. Okay. I'm mentally ready.
Hey everyone, SafeLocked here on behalf of the League team. We have a lot to cover today, including our plans for preseason, challenges, and game modes. But first, let's talk about the state of the game.
Talk about the state of this fucking quality. Why is it so low? There we go.
Overall, we're pretty happy with the state of League this season. When we look at the data—
All right, pause. Would they ever do one of these and ever say we're happy with the state or unhappy with the state of League of Legends? Like, could you imagine if she came out here and was just like, this game fucking sucks, man. Like, we're fucking up.
We actually see that new champions have been pretty balanced on release this year. That said, there's more to healthy gameplay than just win rates. And we're still hearing that new champions feel unfair to play against. If we're being completely honest, we don't think our champions have overloaded kits overall. Another thing we consider when we hear a champion feels bad to play against is their intended complexity. We try to make a healthy mix of high, medium, and low complexity champions.
See, but the question still remains. How many champions do we need? At what point do champion releases cease? Because really, we're just splitting hairs here. We're pretending that we're not doing exactly it is what we're doing, which is we're introducing mechanics that like break game flow. Like Akshan's a perfect example. Akshan would probably be fine. Honestly, it would probably be okay if he wasn't permanently invisible when he's walking on terrain and he didn't respawn allies. So like it's one or two things. Either old champions that can't compete need to be brought up to speed, right? Or these new champions, like we need to stop the superhero thing of where we go, my champion does a billion things and then some, because that's where the frustration comes. Like we have shit like Sivir walking around, right? That still just feels like Sivir feels like absolute junk in comparison to something like Akshan. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe never, like saying never release a new champ. Like I'm not saying that, but it definitely feels like champ tempo. It gets to a point where a champ comes out and I go, ugh, here we go. You know, that's how I feel from my perspective. But I think maybe it is. I really do feel like it is. She's saying that they claim that their champions don't feel overloaded, but that's so like demonstrably wrong when you think about the champions that have come out. Vex, I will say, as far as champions that come through that are like, oh, this is kind of refreshing, I do like Vex. I didn't like her theme. I didn't like the theme. I thought it was a little corny. But like, in terms of a champion that doesn't feel like nonsense, like I did like Vex because it just didn't feel like I was playing against something that was just so stupidly, wow, we gotta blow them away with our goofy bullshit. Like it just feels like it's a more reserve champion. They need more reserve champions. That's really what it boils down to.
But beyond just how complex a champion is to play, there's also how difficult they are to understand. We want new champions to have unique gameplay, but you shouldn't need a wiki to know how to play with or against them. Learning counterplay is a skill test we do think is important, but knowing what a champ can or can't do shouldn't be a part of it. This clarity is something we haven't always hit the mark on, especially with champions like Aphelios, who not only has a complex kit, but was also lacking UI clarity when he was released. We're still trying to find that line, but we want to get to a spot where new champions aren't just numerically balanced, but that you all feel they're fair to play against.
Okay, all fair to, or feel fair to play against, then we need to remove Akali and then remove Kiana then. Because this champion literally just gets to perma invis and feel untouchable for like 10 to 15 seconds. How the hell is that even, to me, like there's obvious cases of stuff that just is atrociously unfun to face that still exists.
On new champion releases this season, we've seen a wide variety of picks.
Yeah, invisibility is the one that like, that experience is absolutely terrible. I still don't even mind Evelyn because again, at least I can hit the bitch. You know what the comparison is? It's like Halo when they had the bubble shield and you put the bubble shield on the ground and then someone stares at you and you can't shoot each other, but you know they're there. Like that, I feel like invisibility should be, if they don't remove it, they should scale it down just so far. It should be a very tinged thing.
With that, I'm going to hand things off to Brightmoon. We'll go more in depth on the upcoming changes.
Hey everyone, I'm Brightman, the lead producer of gameplay on League of Legends.
This guy always feels like he's hitting on us. Dude, I love this guy. This is my favorite guy at Riot because I feel like I'm at like a gay bar or something, and I feel like he's making moves on me. I love this guy.
League is like a house. Sometimes we need to do a big renovation to keep it working well.
Oh,
like when we overhauled the item system.
I'm swooning.
And sometimes we just need to add some new furniture.
I'm swooning. He just needs to add me some new furniture.
We're sprucing things up. Let's start with our plans for items. The first one is a support tank item, perfect for champions that want to get aggressive and charge into the middle of a fight. When you immobilize an enemy champion, all nearby enemies will take increased damage from your team for a short period of time.
It's gonna be strong as fuck.
Item is built for mages who are looking for a little more survivability. It grants damage reduction that lingers for a few seconds after you get hit, and while the protection holds, you'll also get ability haste. We think it'll be particularly good for longer range mages who need a mythic that helps them survive a dive rather than pile on.
About fucking time. You can't even play Xerath if their luck's off a tower.
System. We wanted to give every champion strategic choices in every game. We still think that's the right goal for mythics, but our thinking has changed when it comes to legendary items. We think it's okay if some
I'm getting hit on. Dude, did you see this? Listen, I have no idea his sexual orientation or anything. I'm making assumptions here and I shouldn't be, but I will say this. This guy makes me uncomfortable to watch talk. I'm sure he's the nicest guy ever too.
For example, assassins can look forward to a new legendary item that gives ability haste.
This makes me feel like I'm being macked on. I didn't want to be macked on today. So wait, let me run this back because I'm distracted by this.
Assassins can look forward to a new legendary item that gives ability haste.
Legendary item gives ability haste and also refunds a portion of their ultimate's cooldown.
Also refunds a portion of their ultimate's cooldown with enemy takedowns.
Okay, so let's pause for a second. Yeah, so essentially, isn't this item that we were talking about, the cooldown, the ultimate refund or whatever? This sounds like this is gonna be one of those cases where they're gonna have to tone that item back a ton after preseason. So you're gonna, like, anytime they do any of these like cooldown refunding things, I just think of Shojin.
Straight shot to victory. And this year, we're adding a second way for teams to try and make a comeback. Objective bounties will work like champion bounties, except you cash them in by taking map objectives, like towers or Baron. They ramp up slowly when the enemy team lead grows, and the bounty is shared with your whole team, regardless of who claimed it.
So comeback mechanics
really is the best way to come back when you're behind. Finally, let's talk about our biggest addition this preseason, dragons. We really like how each dragon creates unique terrain, grants powerful buffs, and adds more strategy to the mid and late game. Up first is the Hextech dragon. When your team defeats it, you'll all gain additional ability haste and attack speed. When this dragon takes over the rift, it creates Hextech gates that can transport you to set locations across the map.
Okay, I wasn't like really on board with this concept, but then I realized they do have terrain altering things. That's kind of cool. I don't hate this. I am a little disappointed that there's not more. Well, I'll let them finish, but
second dragon
I already kind of know this is like their big gun. This is like their big gun announcement.
When you slay it, your team will deal increased damage when your HP is low. This dragon soul provides a second chance at life. Well, sort of. When you die, you'll enter a zombie state, where you can still cast abilities and continue fighting.
Oh, that's cool.
When you'd normally be looking at a gray screen. Our goal is to add more unique encounters and meaningful strategy to the mid and late game. That said, these are
oh my god, get this fucking guy out of here, dude. I can't look at his face. Oh god.
We'll be looking for your feedback in the months ahead.
Oh, thank you. Jesus.
Outside of still here. For some of you, ranked is how you define your progress. And that's great. We don't want to change that. But for those of you who aren't focused on the rate climb, there aren't great ways to express your own progress.
He's too happy about his job. Yeah,
the new
seriously.
challenges system should achieve just that.
Oh my god, casual rewards?
Showcasing your increasing mastery and legacy across a bunch of different systems, modes.
Oh man, you're so good if you zombie out at the game. Oh.
We want
Tell me more.
Not just your rank and champion mastery, but also your inventiveness, breadth of play styles, collection, and everything else in between.
How addicted are you to this game? Showcase
your
it.
For never dying in ARAM, or how great you are at killing minions in SR in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, it's so
Maybe
good.
You've collected over 100 champions.
Oh,
you participating in events. All of
Amazing.
this is now possible to track and display your progress with challenges.
I'm a hater. I'm sorry. This is like this is the anti Neace section right here. This is the fuck you Neace section where we pretend that like ranked is a solved entity and that we need more normal shit. We need more casual shit. They're a business. They're trying to make money.
That's all I have to share with you today.
Thank God he's gone. My heart rate could go down.
One thing we've been hearing from you all is that you'd like more variety in the modes we bring back alongside events. So let's talk about it. To start, we actually
I literally don't know anything about the events, honestly. I'm only watching this because I know some of you guys like this shit. I didn't even play this. All right, well, I'm pretty amumu about the, I mean, there's literally nothing. There's nothing here for ranked improvements. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, we continue to move forward without any significant changes to the dodging conundrum, right? In League and the queue time conundrum. They didn't even talk about it in the preseason at all. So I'm a little sad. You know, I'm kind of used to this from Riot. I do feel like, you know, it's just ranked goals and focus. You know, this is a company that their company ethos was founded on making a competitive game, and I get that they are a business and they try to make money, but you know, it is a shame that it is expected for you to sit in a queue for 30 to 40 to 50 minutes, all because they do not want to just remove dodging and propel the game forward, which I find to be a very interesting conundrum too, by the way, because removing dodging is inherently a casual move. Do you understand? It's actually a move that helps casual League of Legends foster and develop. So I've heard from like there was a Reddit post. I can't find it right now, but a writer actually commented on this and claimed that it was a little bit expensive. This is the word they used. It was expensive, and I'm saying this not even to flame Riot here on this. It's expensive technically to fix this dodging thing or to hide names in champion select, right? So what I interpreted that to mean is we at Riot, like our game is so old and so filled with like cobwebs and fucking gunk. We can't actually do this change without like breaking stuff, or the stuff that it would break would be a big monumental pain in the ass. I assume that's connections with stuff like op.gg and all these sites that utilize Riot's API. So I am very disappointed that this solution is so clear and so obvious, again, for the state of the game, and they're still, years later, they're still not addressing it. It's such a shame. Because, again, it's like it's a change that like casual players would want, right? You don't want your community flaming people in champ select. You don't want your community dodging games. You don't want people that are new to League of Legends tuning in and seeing a streamer sit in a queue for 30, 40, 50 minutes. That's not, if I was a CEO of Riot, right? That's not something that I would want, right? I would want new players seeing players playing more, right? Even if they are bitching, complaining, see them playing the game more and being in queues less and having people shamed less. You can still keep the data mining stuff for after the games. You can still look up how you're doing on your stats. So yeah, I'm a big, that's a big letdown for me. In regards to the positives, I should just go bad news, good news here. You know, the talk about new champions, I think new champions are mostly still a little frustrating. I think I would say in general, I call the whack champs, the Yones, the Viegos. These are like stat stick champs, the Gwen. These champions are not that complex. It's just they either stat check you into oblivion or they don't. And then they have a lot better stat check value than some of the old school or the old guard. And they also are just frustratingly overloaded a lot of the time. Vex is only one, or maybe Set. These are few champions that don't feel as overloaded. They just, you know, they feel like they're, they make sense, right? So I don't completely hate new champions. I'm a little exhausted by them. I would give it a solid B-, I think. But honestly, I see a lot of them now and I'm just like, oh my God, I have to learn this again. Like Vex was kind of cool because at least she seemed a little bit more welcoming, right? Champion class and diversity. What was this again? This was the options of items and all that. Cool. So we're talking about preseason items. The mythics, they look kind of okay. I think that anything involving ultimate CDR reduction, let's see, it was here.
Can look forward to a new legendary item. That gives
item gives ability haste and refunds a portion of their ultimate cooldown. Seems pretty OP. Seems like that's going to take a lot of adjustments to get right. The other stuff seems like it's in line, especially the one the long range mages they feel terrible in solo queue. Just getting ran over by Tryndamere all the time and Talon and God knows what else, Kled. I think they could use some love. What else do we have here? Preseason bounties. I think the bounties, the comeback bounties, I don't mind it. I think that Riot's hands are tied here. And what I mean is the community is such a big batch of whiny quitting babies that I feel like they almost have to incentivize coming back into the game more often. So I actually, my default reaction is to be like, oh, comeback stuff. But then my other reaction is like, Jesus Christ, the community needs something because they're pussies. Right. So if you can incentivize people sticking it out and trying their best to come back, if I was a game dev, I would understand. You have to cater to your audience. And unfortunately, the audience just still has not figured out that they can't just int and give up all the time. Like there's more to the game than that. And I think this is them trying to remedy that in some way. They have a lot of data and it's pretty obvious. Let's see here. The dragons are their knockout moment in this. They look cool. They look interesting. They look fun. I'm excited to see how those play out. That's pretty much the only thing though, that's in this list that I'm like really, really super excited about. I honestly am kind of okay with a more muted and mellow 2022. Mainly because of how I feel the game was just so knocked into crazy town when they brought all these new items and all this stuff in last season. But again, what is Riot actually doing with the ranked system? There's just so many flaws in the system. So many people are speaking badly on this system and giving feedback, and the players are going above and beyond to give all this information about how to make it better. And they're just fucking not actioning anything real. The dodging punishments aren't even hitting that hard. It's just I know I'm busy with coaching, but like when I want to play this game, it definitely feels like, oh, Neace, if you're playing Diamond or higher, enjoy an hour commitment for one game. Like that's how it feels. Enjoy an hour commitment for one game, right? By the time you're done, it's about 45 minutes. If you want to play another one, like, yeah, an hour per game. It just feels really bad a lot of the time. No hard reset again. Even though, yeah, there's accounts like my account list. I've got a ton of accounts that I could just hop into a platinum and or low diamond game at any time, years and years later. Yeah, just a huge, laziness, complacency, call it what you want, call it lack of, it doesn't give them monetary value in their minds. I don't know what it is, but it's poor oversight. But everything else, like, I'm okay with it being mellow. Could give a shit about the casual stuff personally. But yeah, I mean, this is just Riot, just constantly churning along at a solid marginal pace in regards to managing their ranked experience. This is just another year of this. So I hope you guys are ready for another season of leveraging dodging, because apparently that's the vision they have for their ranked game. Also just getting flamed for your loss streaks or whatever. It's pretty disgusting. But outside of that, I don't know. I kind of like the dragons. And I kind of like that things are chilled out. Cool. That's my summary.